Alright guys, so how's it going? So it's actually the same day as my two other videos. So technically I've made 3 videos today, but of course they'll be spaced out, you know, throughout the week. So I wasn't really even going to make this video, but when you kind of snoop around on YouTube and you come across something that's just stupid, you know you gotta talk about it. So it's yeah, you hear the neighbor's freaking dog, or well, far away neighbor, their stupid dog's barking away. Probably sees the deer or something. But we got another dead turkey right there, but that's in that guy's yard, so that's his fucking problem. I had one die in my yard last year. I had to take it away with Big Red, but that's their problem. And then I'm not really sure what's pecking away at these damn trees. I'm guessing a woodpecker of some kind, but yeah, they sure make a mess of trees. Now they're doing it to the neighbor's tree here. They're pecking away at it. I don't know when they do that, because I never ever see them doing it, so it's got to be in the morning hours when they're doing it. But yeah, there's a big pile of, looks like wood chips underneath that guy's tree, and in this guy's yard there's one tree that's taking a beating. I think they're digging for the bugs that like to live in the trees, so like ants and stuff. That's what I'm guessing. They haven't done it to any of my trees yet, but I know it's probably going to be coming. But I don't know if there's anything I can spray or whatever to put by my trees to maybe keep them from digging away at them. I know what happened at the farm there too. They dug out a couple of trees, and that's what made them come down. But it just is what it is. So, but yeah, it was actually extremely windy today, and it is still full sun at least. But the wind has really calmed down, which actually makes it feel a lot nicer out than it was earlier when I made those 2 other videos. But anyways, I'm not going to get into it too much, but I also got some video clips that I may or may not insert over this video. Well, whatever, I'll put it in the video if I feel like it or if I remember. But it's basically got to do with schools and flags. And I don't know about I don't know about like Greasy Six up there in Canada. I know you Canadians would fly your Canadian flags, you know, to school. You know, I mean, I don't know about you, Greasy Six. I don't know if you did that when you were a teenager, but kids today, that's what they're doing. And they would they would fly their flags, right, on the back of their vehicles. Now what's this loud car gonna frickin' do now? So, super loud. Speeding like the dickens. But the way it is kind of nowadays, and well, it's been a fight for well over 10 years plus now, but schools, I don't know, they some of them anyway, maybe not all of them, but sometimes they have like rules and stuff. I mean, all schools have rules, but some of them are kind of goofy when it comes to flying flags on the back of your car or truck, right? And most people will fly a 3x5. And that's what I have. I don't have my Confederate flag and my Don't Tread on Me flag up, but that's because I was going to get a new roof put on my house, but then it never happened. So now I'm thinking about maybe just getting a big old giant flagpole in my yard that can carry 2 flags. But I don't know. It's up in the air about that too. But the problem is that these kids, there's one kid anyway, he had an American flag mounted to the back of his truck, so it would have been, I mean, you'll see it in the videos, but it would have been kind of right in the corner. And it was a 3x5. It looked like a 3x5 anyway. American flag. I'm sure there's kids up in Canada that are flying Canadian flags or whatever the hell they believe in, right? But here, schools are kind of bitchy. They're bitchy about it. Like in that one video, that apparently a teacher or whatever didn't like it or whatever, so she reported it to, I guess, like the principal or whatever, whoever's top bitch at these schools. Basically told him I'm offended of that American flag. That kind of just shows, in my mind, right then and there, that shows that you're not proud to be an American. You have a problem with the American flag. I understand that our country's fucked. Canada's fucked as well. So is Mexico. So is London. We all have our freaking problems. Whereas I think the U.S. and Canada were the most fucked up, but I think America takes the cake. But we're not going to get into that. But basically what it was is that they told him to take his flag down. And he said, hell no.
Welcome back. A high school senior in Dearborn County is going viral. It's over an American flag on the back of his truck. He says on Thursday the school told him to take it off. It was a violation of school rules. But after a social media post and a show of support from other students, the school is now reversing course. WCPO 9 News reporter Andrew Rowan spoke with that student and has new information from the Eastern Central High School principal.
Wherever 17-year-old Cameron Blazek goes, so does Old Glory.
The flag itself represents this country, this beautiful country that we live in.
He fastened the flag to his truck this summer.
It's very strongly secured in there. I mean, you can't pull that out if you tried.
It abides by the U.S. flag code.
I got pulled aside by my counselor and vice principal, and they told me, hey, you got to remove the flag off the back of your truck. And I kind of looked at him, I said, no. I said, it's not going to happen. I said, I can't.
Cameron held the line.
Read through East Central's 2023-2024 handbook, and the word flag wasn't even mentioned in the parking lot or driving section. The only section it's mentioned in is the flag twirling section.
Boy!
The next day at school, others showed up with flags of their own.
There was a huge support group there that believed and stood for the same thing that I did, and I was kind of shocked by that.
That's when the principal sent a letter to parents Friday to, quote, address recent concerns and confusions, writing, I am pleased to inform you that we are allowing the display of the U.S. flag by students in the parking lot. Principal Black clarified to WCPO in an email that there has never been a complaint about the U.S. flag. One literally hangs above the parking lot, and that school administrators decided Friday they would, quote, prohibit other flags if they were determined to be offensive. A social media post about all this went viral.
I was pretty surprised by it, that it got so many views, and pretty much that it got the attention it did.
There are veterans in this family, and Cameron himself is considering serving.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of him. He stood his ground and stood up for what he believed in.
The American flag has been politicized in recent years. One poll shows 83% of Republicans have a very positive view of the American flag. That number drops to 49% for Democrats.
I think everybody gets offended over something that doesn't mean what everybody says it does. This flag represents our country and the people who died for it and fought for it, and I respect that with my whole heart.
Old Glory, sparking new debate.
The letter from the school went out on Friday afternoon, and the social media post went viral over the weekend. Cameron says it'll be interesting to see what the discussion is like here come Monday. In Dearborn County, Andrew Rowan.
He says there's nothing wrong with flying the American flag on the back of your truck. And I don't know, in most states, I don't think it's even illegal to have a flag on the back of your truck or your car or whatever. Right? I mean, I don't know, check the state laws, but I just find it kind of funny that you're offended of an American flag, you know, and you tell him to take the flag down, or somebody told him to take the flag down, the principal or whatever, but he stood his ground and said no. So they what do? They canceled his parking ticket, or well, it's not really a ticket, parking pass kind of thing, where you can park at school. You know, you pay so much a month or whatever, and you can park. You have a spot that's actually dedicated to you, and whatever else, right? So they canceled that all because he you know, had his flag flying in the back of his truck. You know, this is where it gets kind of irritating, because you know that if we can't even simply fly an American flag, eventually we're not going to be able to fly any flag. I know for a lot of years, it's kind of died down, but it really hasn't. It's definitely not what it was close to 10 years ago when the Confederate flag stuff was a disaster. There goes a jet. Oh yeah, there he is. Hey, he's just coming out of Canada too. He ain't that high. Must have come out of Winnipeg. Because I can see his blinky lights, and I can see the bottom of his plane. But he's high enough so I can't read the numbers, obviously, but... yeah. So... I bet you can hear it, though. A lot of cars going by again. But, yeah, I just... well, the whole thing with the Confederate flag bullshit, that was a war that... I don't know. Some places you won and in some places you lost, but, you know, but to not be allowed to fly the American flag, you know, it's a slap to the dick. That's what it is, you know. If you have something, even like some people are saying in the comment sections, if you're not a proud American, if you think our country's gone to shit, which it has, but if you think it's gone to shit and you don't no longer want to support America, then why are you living here? It's that simple. That's what he was saying too. Is like, if you're not proud to be an American, then don't live in this country. Well, for me, I would be a lot more prouder to be an American if we would just fix certain things. Number one would be the border. If you fixed... I mean, I fly an American flag on my house, but that's just because I don't have my other flags up. So, but, you know, it's just ridiculous. That's what it is. I don't even know how to really even go about it, because it's a slap to the dick, because you can't even fly your flag in the back of your truck or whatever, you know. And then with the Confederate flag bullshit, that was all a disaster. That was, you know, they even took the fucking flag, the Confederate flag, down off the one general or whatever, you know, the statue that he was holding. You know, they took his flag down. Why? So you can put a freaking pride, gay pride, fucking whatever the hell is flag up? Like, you know, it's ridiculous. If you replaced it with an American flag, okay, it's a little bit okay, but it's not the real reason why. That's not why he was given a Confederate flag instead of a U.S. flag. So it's just, you know, none of it just makes sense. And like I said, I got like 2 or 3 clips I'm going to show you, which I probably already have, but I just think personally, I think it's dumb. Now, I understand that some schools have rules and stuff like that, but some of the rules are so stupid. You're not allowed to fly a flag in the back of your truck because it's distracting to the other students.
Like I told my son, is if this is what he's believing in, me and his dad are both going to stand behind him all the way till the end of it.
A Bedford County family is pulling their kid out of Stanton River High School. They say they'd rather homeschool him after a controversy surrounding the American flag.
ABC 13's Mia Nelson shows us why this family isn't backing down, along with the school district's response.
Christopher Hartless says he is just exercising his First Amendment rights by flying this flag.
My family fought for America, and I feel like I should be able to represent the flags that they fought for.
His stepmom, Christina Kingery, says last Wednesday, Hartless went to school with the flags mounted on his truck. School administration told him he needed to take them down because it was a distraction.
I don't understand how it's distracting if they have one on the flagpole that every other student can see.
Heartless refused to take the flags down.
Like I told my son, is if this is what he's believing in, me and his dad are both going to stand behind him all the way till the end of it.
About 10 minutes into first period today, Heartless says he was told he needed to take them down again. The school also revoked his parking pass. Kingery doesn't want him to have to ride the bus, so they're going to homeschool him.
Or if they're willing to change and let kids want to fly the American flag, then I'll put him back in Stanton River. But until then, he possibly put him back in Stanton River. But if they don't, then I'm going to continue to let him fly his flags.
I reached out to the school system asking for an interview, but I was told no one was available. The high school sent out a clarification statement over the weekend to parents that says the student parking contract states, quote, large flags or banners are not allowed to be flown or displayed on vehicles due to their distractive nature. The statement also read, quote, please be assured that we proudly fly the American flag throughout the school.
I think that every student, doesn't matter what you believe in, what flag you fly, as long as it's not harmful and it doesn't disgrace our country, you have the right to fly it.
I also asked the school system a few follow-up questions, and I was told that before obtaining a parking permit, both the student and parent must sign a contract to indicate that they have read and understood the rules. And I asked whether small American flags are allowed and if American flag stickers are allowed. I was told, in part, students are certainly welcome to have small American flags or stickers of the American flag on their cars. To read the full response I got and the full statement that was sent out to parents over the weekend, head to our website, WSET.com. The school system also says that it is okay to wear the American flag on your clothes.
But yet they can have a American flag bumper sticker in their window or on their bumper or whatever, and they can have pretty much anything else, and then the schools themselves fly a American flag on their 20-foot tall pole. Don't you think that would be distracting as well? You know, so what's the difference between this and then that big giant flag you got flying on your pole on school, right? I personally, I don't see no difference between the two. If they're both going to be distracting, well, then get rid of the other flag. Then, I mean, at least be fair, you know, but at the end of the day, you know, you should be allowed to fly it. You know, there's no reason to that. So, I don't know. And then well, what happened? Yeah, then they ended up having a protest about it. I think the kid got suspended for like 3 days, and he had his parking pass taken away. They had a big riot and everything about it, and then I don't know if the school got scared because there was just so many kids and so many parents, you know, and stuff like that, that they just said to hell with it, and they basically just said, you know, as long as the flag is not like racist or sexist or something stupid like that, they're not going to care anymore. So just let them, you know, I mean. And it's so dumb because I understand this is a public school, so yes, their information is out there. You can find it real easy. But now you made the school look bad by even just arguing with the kid for having an American flag on the back of his truck. That's what's stupid. Is that you ruined your school's reputation over, you know, a 3x5 American flag. So, and then it happened to, I think it was another kid. He had a 3x5 flag on his truck, and they basically gave him the boot. They told him to get the hell lost and not come back until the flag was removed. You know, but and the mother, of course, I mean, all the kids and stuff, too, they were all, again, protesting and yada, yada, yada. You know, but the mother and the father actually came to an agreement, and they said that they're going to pull their kid out of school until the school, basically until the school decided to change their rules on how they do stuff, you know. I haven't gotten that far into it to see what actually happened. But it just, you know, I don't know if the kid ever went back to school again, or if because they were deciding on maybe just homeschooling him. Because in a way that, you know, if you're going to pick on the American flag, to me, that would be racist to our country. Because you're telling somebody that's proudly flying the flag, for whatever reasons, maybe because they're just proud of the country, maybe their family member or their family has been in the military, which I believe the first kid, their family generation was in the military or something, and he was thinking about enlisting too. You know, like as a proud American would do. But I mean, just, I don't know. It's ridiculous is what it is. And then there was a third girl. Well, this was a girl this time, a third kid. But she had one American flag in the very back of her truck. And then she had two Confederate flags. Of course, it's a little bit of a different subject. And that video was many years old. That was from almost 10 years ago, which I've never seen till now. You possibly just can't see all these videos, you know. So, but they actually said that the American flag was fine, which was mind-blowing. But they found the Confederate flags to be offensive.
It was a little upsetting because I'd like to be able to show my history, and I think school, it's a great place to be able to show that you know your true history and be able to be proud of it.
A North Fort Myers high school student kicked off campus after driving her truck to school with Confederate flags on the back. She and her family turning to 4 in Your Corner, wanting to know, isn't this their right to express their freedom of speech? 4 in Your Corner's Malcolm Johnson working to get answers. Malcolm?
Patrick, as you know, the removal of the Confederate flag outside South Carolina's capital has kept the flag in the headlines. Most of the controversy stems from who it offends and how people feel about what it represents. Like many Southerners, this family says the flag represents their heritage, and there's no reason it should stop them from being able to park their truck on the campus of North Fort Myers High School. Of the 3 flags on this white pickup truck, 2 of them stopped 11th grader Sky Hunter from being able to park at North Fort Myers High School. On her first day of school, the security guard, then the vice principal, had a message for her.
He came out and told me that I had to leave, and I asked him why, and he said that the American flag was fine to fly, but I couldn't fly my 2 Confederate flags.
And she says when she protested, the vice principal had a firm response.
He told me parking my truck there, it was my vehicle, my responsibility to get rid of the flags. And I told him it's my vehicle, it's my responsibility. I should be able to fly what I like on them.
She says she didn't want to start trouble, so she went home and had her father drop her off at school. He was upset too.
It's a heritage. I mean, and I don't understand why she can't fly them. Freedom of speech, and I don't understand what's going on.
So I asked the school district what was going on. I called and emailed the district throughout the day. They never got back to me. But shortly after school let out, the school's principal called the family to apologize. The principal tells the family she can now park on campus with all 3 of her flags. Sky tells me she didn't understand why she couldn't park there in the first place and says it wasn't just the message, but the manner it was delivered.
I wasn't expecting to be told to leave right on the spot, and especially in such a rude manner that I was asked.
She claims even if she wanted to take the flags down when she was asked to remove them, she couldn't because they're bolted in. The Lee County School District still hasn't responded to my 2 questions. 1, why was she sent home in the first place? And 2, why did the school officials change their minds and allow her to bring the flags on campus? I'll keep pressing for answers. Malcolm Johnson, Fox 4, in Your Corner.
And she had 2 of them. She had, like, if you picture this was the, you know, the bed of a pickup truck. Yeah, she had a Confederate flag here. She had one in that corner, and then she had her American flag basically right in the center, but more towards like where you would put a toolbox or your fuel tank or whatever, right? Right up against the back glass kind of thing. You'll see that. I might put that in the video as well, but again, for the Confederate flag stuff, I think it's all just nonsense. Even like those people were saying too, is like, if you don't know the true history of why that flag exists, then you're a goofy little son of a bitch. And it all started just because one white kid or whatever went into a school full of, I think it was black kids or whatever, and he had the Confederate flag on his back, shooting all those kids. All just because of that little dickweed, you know, now the Confederate flag is known as the most racist flag in America. Which is not true. It's got nothing to do with race. It's got nothing to do with any of that. So, it's all just part of history. So, and I have a Confederate flag. Actually, I got like 2. Obviously, the one that I'm not flying is slightly defective. It's not a true 3x5. It is slightly smaller. So, it did not fit my custom-made flagpoles. That I was going to either save for, like, well, I'm still saving it. I haven't gotten around to ever making, like, a studio where I could edit videos in my basement. But basically the plans were I was going to take that Confederate flag, and I have another Don't Tread on Me flag. And if I had a camera, you know, set up like, or say like this, then I was going to have that in the background. That would be my background. See, here in the shop, I got my sticker board kind of as my background, but stickers are getting wore out. So, but yeah. But you know how it is. So, but it's just unfortunate that, you know, that even, like, I'm not really even talking too much about the Confederate flag. It's more or less kind of disturbing to know that our American flag is also becoming a racist thing. All just because apparently one teacher didn't like it. Then you're not a true American. I don't know what race she is. I mean, they didn't say, obviously, but if you're white, you're born in this country, you're a true American, like I am, you should be proud to have that. No matter if it's on the back of a truck or, you know, flying in your office. And I don't even know what they're doing today in schools, because obviously I don't go to school anymore. But I remember when I went to school, of course, every school is a little bit different, but you had a small flag. It wasn't like a 3x5. Obviously, they're way too damn big. You would never even get it in the room. It'd be halfway on. It would be touching the floor. So you had a little bit of a smaller flag sitting up on, like, I guess let's just say if this was your doorway, you'd have it kind of like in the corner or whatever. I mean, every school's a little bit different. Or if you had a chalkboard, it would be above the chalkboard or whatever, right? But every day, when I went to school anyway, you always had to do that, what do they call it? Pledge of Allegiance thing to it, right? That was what we did every day going to school. I don't know what they're doing today in schools, because I don't go to school. So if anybody knows, I guess let me know what they're doing in today's schools, but that's what I did when I went to school. You had a flag hanging above you. You had to do your Pledge of Allegiance thing, and that was it, you know. So, like I said, today, I don't know if they're doing that. I know, the only thing that I know that has changed, because my sister has kids, and then they're going to school, is they don't do stuff like we used to do, where you had to write stuff down on a piece of paper. You know, you would do your math or your ABCs or whatever on a piece of paper. Now they do it on frickin' iPads, which I think is ridiculous, because they always sit there and say, well, you know, iPads and TVs and stuff, they're bad to the eyes, you know, especially if you're really up close to them, right? Well, most kids are going to be right up on them, so I think that's kind of a horrible idea, but that's the world we live in today, where everything's freaking computers and goddamn robots. So, but what do you do? So, but I think personally, it's a huge, you know, disrespect thing for the American flag that you can't fly it on your trucks. You know, you think that you'd be proud of that, but I don't know. I was going to say this too, because I kind of, like, I'm not saying this to be a dick. I mean, I like the idea of it, but I find it kind of funny that every video that I watch, even including the girl, you got to look really close. Look on the roof of every one of those trucks. They've all had a CB antenna on top of the roof, so they all got CB radios in them. I think most of them are from down south, and I don't know. I mean, I know that CBs are still a thing, obviously, because I have them, but I didn't think people were into that, you know, especially today, you know. I kind of figured, it's mostly probably the old-timers that are into it, you know. Of course, now, mind you, I'm in my early 30s. I'm 32, and I like CB radios. But I've always had a thing for CBs. It's just that we've never had a use for them up to, you know, like 7 years ago or something, when we had that family emergency and I was in the shop and I didn't know what was going on because we don't have CB radios. I don't have one in the shop yet either. That's another thing. I'm going to try to get one for the shop too, but it's going to just be a really cheap setup. So, but I just, that's what I thought was kind of hilarious, is that every one of those motherfuckers has got a CB radio in their truck. So, but whatever, they're probably just, you know, either just monitoring traffic or they're just like talking on them. I don't know. I know, Reggie 6, you said that you don't like skip, like listening to the skip on the CBs. For me, it kind of just depends on what's going on. If I'm actually using the CB radios to talk to like a family member or something, yeah, I could probably find that to be really annoying. But you can just turn your squelch all the way up, or until you drown them out. And whatever else. So, but other than that, I don't mind listening to skip, but it kind of just depends, you know, what they're talking about. I mean, if they're going to talk about, you know, how one guy is racist or the other guy is gay or whatever, like, I don't care about that. If you're talking about the weather, like if there happens to be a tornado going on, you know, and I'm getting that skip, then I'm all for it. But a lot of them people, they just like to blab. And they're blabbing about stupid things. Even some people even out in California, they're talking about how messed up their government system is over there. Okay, well, we already knew that from the damn beginning, so it's not like I need a whole 4 hours of you gossiping about it. So, but yeah, it seems like pretty much every channel has something going on, but most of them are kind of dead, you know, for the most part. I mean, there are some people that have local channels. Like I know there's one guy on YouTube, he talks about CB radios, ham radios, DMRS radios. He's a radio guy. He says that for his area that he lives in, everybody talks on channel 14. Nobody around here, we don't have a channel around here because nobody uses CBs anymore. So, you know, but it just is what it is. It's a dying art. I know that my uncle was in the CBs back when he was young, because back when he was young, I'm guessing probably at my age and even younger, everybody had CB radios because that was the damn thing. Even just like Greasy 6 said, the 70s, the 80s, they were the bitchin' years, I guess you could say. Everybody had a CB radio of some kind. So, yeah. My uncle had them too, in his cars. Every car that he ever had, I think he even wrecked one. I'm not really 100% sure on that, but I think he wrecked one and then he just yanked his CB shed off of it, went and got another car and put a CB on it. So, and there is proof of that because I think in one of those buildings, there is a CB radio sitting on the floor, but it's junk. And it's been sitting there for years and years and years. And I imagine the roof has been leaking on it. You know, the rain's been getting in and leaking on it. So you can't save it. There's no, I mean, you could clean it up and make it look nice. But to probably repower it and get it to work again, it's probably beyond savable for that. But I don't know. I guess just to get it, you know, and clean it up. And I guess maybe just have it on the shelf for looks or something. That would be, I guess, kind of an interesting thing. And I think that is the one, too, that had only... what was it, 23 channels? I think Greasy 60 said they only had 23 channels way back in the day. I knew about that, but right now I can't remember if it was 23 or what, but I know that, yeah, they've given you more channels. And now they've even done some more stuff now where the FCC, anyway, they don't even want you on AM anymore. What the hell was that?